So like that, I think that's good to have people. I mean, how long have you been training for?
2006 I started. So
12
years, going on 13.
So you've been training 12 years,
yeah.
And I showed a move that...
You were a black belt when I was, in diapers in jiu-jitsu.
So I showed a move that you didn't see in 12 years.
Right.
You showed a move. I've been training for longer, 20-something years, and you showed a move I never seen before. Does that mean I need to expose myself to more? Yes. But it also means, guess what? There's only so much knowledge. And what's cool about this is the moves get filtered by human beings, right?
100%.
You're not out there teaching a move that you haven't used and don't feel good about. Whereas there could be moves that you can learn like, oh, that person's never actually used that move before.
Mm-hmm.
So things to be interested. You talked about immersion, and I explained this to everyone. I don't know if have I ever done compared language to on this podcast?
Oh, on this podcast, I don't know.
Okay. I don't know either. For people that want to learn jiu-jitsu, this is an immersion camp, but no matter where you're learning it.
This is great. I know what you're going to say.
The language thing.
You really got me when you said this.
Okay. So here's what it is to learn jiu-jitsu. Compared to learning a language. I was an English major. And I studied linguistics inside of studying English. Learning a language and learning jiu-jitsu are very similar. When Echo gives a great introductory course to jiu-jitsu, it's like, what do you teach? Mount, you teach all the positions, mount, back, half guard,
side mount,
side control. And you teach a little bit of action from each one, yes. Maybe 1 or 2 submissions from 1 or 2, 1 or 2 escapes from 1 or 2. So it's a total of 5 positions and 7 moves, let's say, something like that. When he gets done teaching that introduction, and it's actually the same introduction that I basically teach. And when I've taught it at the muster, this is when I first said this at the muster, I said, when we got done with this hour and a half and all these people are all fired up because they know how to do the Americana and they know how to do the rear naked choke, and they're basically in their minds trained killers.
Absolutely.
And when we get done with that, I say, okay, you have just learned the one line that forms the small letter A that goes down the side. You've only learned that. You haven't even actually learned the letter A yet.
Exactly.
In terms of looking at it as language. You train for another few hours, you might have an A, right? And then okay, now, but can you speak a sentence? Nope. You can't even form a word yet. There's one word you can form. It's ah. You got one word. That's basically where you're at. So what you need to do is you need to learn more moves. But once you learn you couldn't just learn letters. You need to learn how to spell. That's how you put the moves together. And then you got to learn how to fit those moves together against and alongside other moves. That's a sentence. And then you got to figure out how you're going to roll through a paragraph. Mm-hmm. And then you put in these moves together. Then you realize that it's also like language. It's like debate. Somebody's throwing other words at you and you need to learn how to respond to them. And once you learn all those words and you learn how to put them into paragraphs and you get to the end of that and you think you've mastered the language, then someone says, hey, guess what? You got to learn German now.
Exactly.
Which is, judo. And then you got to learn Sambo, which is Russian. And you got to learn all these different languages. You got to learn all these different languages in order to really, truly understand.
And I feel like black belt for me, like getting to black belt was the start of, that was like, okay, the English language. But my grammar still sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get to those other languages yet. I
feel like from a language perspective, when you get your black belt, you have the language capability of like a 10-year-old kid.
Right.
Like a 10-year-old kid. Like you can you're not going to be able to just pick up a book and start reading it. You're not going to be able to do that. You have to be, one of these guys that has been training and teaching for a really long time and competing and rolling and really have like a broad mind.
And what's crazy is we got the plastic forks in the commons. Someone was asking me what the stripes mean. And so I took out the plastic forks and I lined them up. I said, that's 3 years at black belt. That's 3 years at black belt. First 2, the next one. That's 5 years. That's 5 years. That's 7 years. That's 7. I said, so when you look at someone, you can see how long they've been a black belt. Because their question was, are there differences in black belts? Absolutely, there's differences. Most of these guys have been black belts in world championship and have 100 black belts when I just started training jiu-jitsu. So go to them. They've got the knowledge. I'm still trying to learn that.
Yeah, for sure. And there are, I mean, there's as much disparity in black belts as there are from white to brown belt.
Yeah.
There's that much difference.
Absolutely.